Hello, this is Raymond, your Orbit Master, and there are two videos. This is the first of two videos, and the purpose of it is to introduce you to Dr. Nido Qubein. If you already know lots about him and you don't want to hear all this, then just skip to the second, which is an amazing offer. It's so amazing, you'll be dazzled. But if you'd like to know about my coach, Dr. Nido Qubein, or if you want to know more about him, then just listen and enjoy this. So Nido came to the shores of America as a Lebanese teenager knowing no English. And he noticed that people who spoke English made more money than people who didn't, and so he learned English so well that he joined National Speakers Association and very soon became its president. The man just skyrockets to the top on anything he does, and he teaches other people how to do it. Amazing. So then he noticed that the people who owned the bank made more money than the people who banked at the bank, and so he read the Bank Act of the United States. And what he noticed is a loophole, that the Bank Act was written 200 years ago, and it was never updated. And so you can start a bank with $1 million, at least when he did, a couple decades ago. And $1 million, that's not even enough for one mortgage these days. So it's way out of date. It should be $1 billion, but no one had updated it in all that time. So he got a few friends together. They had the money, he had the wisdom, and they started a bank. And here's his genius. He knows the power of wow. He knows that you can have interest rates as high as you want on savings accounts and interest rates as low as you want on mortgages, but that's not what really attracts people. That will do a mediocre job, but not a great job. What did Nido do? He wanted to create wow experiences. So he hired tellers who had just a wonderful way of dealing with people. And then he noticed the lineups. And if there was long lineups for that teller, that was a good teller. That teller got promoted and got to stay in their job. And as a result, his bank grew in funds under management so fast that the 9th largest bank in the United States, BB&T, bought him out. And though he hasn't told me how much his shares were worth, he hasn't, I'm just guessing, that his shares became worth $100 million. And he was asked to be on the board of the big new merged bank that's listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Here he is, a young lad, and he is on the board of directors of a bank listed on the New York Stock Exchange. So if you know everything about banking, the next obvious thing is baking. He bought Great Harvest Bread Company, which at that time had about 250 outlets and was selling a certain amount of bread and bakery goods per store. And the first thing he did is not create the best products. You know by now, he created wow experiences. And so he interviewed the people who shopped, and they weren't adults, and they weren't mothers. They were mothers feeding their family. Mothers feeding their family. And so around the walls, he put beautiful photographs of mothers from all different cultures feeding their family. He also did something. He put a table on the customer side of the counter, and he put the most expensive bread there with a knife and peanut butter and jam and different kinds of butters. And then what he did was he invited anyone who's hungry to come and eat. And so mothers who were buying there to feed their family were deeply moved by the fact that the store was feeding the hungry also. It was a brilliant marketing move and got millions and millions of dollars worth of free publicity for the price of a few loaves of bread. And so the number of stores increased and the sales per store increased. And my guess, he hasn't told me, but my guess is that his shares in Great Harvest Bread Company went up roughly $100 million. So then if you know everything there is to know about banking and baking, the next obvious thing is furniture. And he bought a company, which I'm sure you've heard of, Lazy Boy Furniture. And they had tens of millions of dollars of orders from big box furniture stores to buy Lazy Boy furniture. And he canceled all the orders when he bought it, and he opened up his own stores because that's the only way to ensure the customer experience is if you own the store. So initially the sales dipped because he threw away all those sales, but then because of the customer experience, people started telling their friends, and the number of stores, Lazy Boy stores, increased, and the number of sales in each store increased. And he does that over and over and over again in any industry, no matter what. And then he was asked to be, it's a huge honor, was asked to be the president of High Point University in North Carolina, in High Point, North Carolina, where he graduated. And he took on a 10-year term to be the president, and it was a little sleepy college, a little tiny sleepy college, and now it's growing so fast, the fastest growing college in the United States, and the wow experiences on that campus are more than you could ever believe. They're dazzling. And I'll give you just one or two examples, but it's breathtaking. I've been there twice now. I go on the tour each time, and my mouth just falls open. I'm just so dazzled. And I'll give you an example. There's a director of WOW. Why is there a director of WOW? Because Nido says if you want WOW experiences to happen, somebody has to be in charge, and that's the director of WOW. The director of WOW is required to spend half the day walking around campus wearing a particular blazer so all the students can notice him. And they run over and they tell him any complaint they have or any good news they want to say. And then with zero tolerance, he fixes those complaints. But Nido's rule is you don't fix a complaint. That means you go from negative to zero. No, he goes from negative to positive. He makes everything a wow. He takes any failure and makes that a positive wow. I'll give you an example. The female students, the co-eds, were complaining that silly boys were going into the laundry machines and stealing their panties. Because girls mature faster than boys. Boys think that's kind of cute, stupid, but they're boys. So what did the director of WOW do? Well, first of all, everyone has a magnetic student card. So he put locks on all of the laundry room doors. And so now Nido knows every single person who goes into each laundry room and exactly when they leave. He also put magnetic locks on the washers and the dryers. So if a girl swipes the key and opens a washer or a dryer, puts her clothes in and shuts it, only her key, only her swipe card will open it. All of a sudden, all the silly antics by the silly boys were eliminated. But there was another problem, and that is sometimes you'd go to the laundry room and the cycles will have ended, but other people's clothes are still in there because they're in class. Well, wait till you hear this. When you put your clothes in and shut it, 10 minutes before the cycle ends, the washing machine sends you a text message that you've got 20 minutes to come and get your clothes out, to put it in the dryer or to take it home. And if you don't, you lose laundry room privileges for a week. And so now suddenly all the machines are well used. And if you want to know if there's laundry machines available, what he did is put closed circuit television in every one of the laundry rooms. And so you can just go to highpointuniversity.com/laundryroom1. I just made that up as an example. And then you can see closed circuit TV, which machines are available for you. Everything he does is a wow. There are just so many wow experiences. And oh my God, there's so many. He has Pentagon level Wi-Fi, the fastest Wi-Fi in America on his campus, so that you never have to wait for anything. And when you fill out a form, like before you enter, if you're accepted, one of the forms you fill out is a field trip form. And you put in your favorite soft drink and your favorite movie and your favorite actress and your favorite singer and your favorite song. And he says it's so that if you go on a field trip, we'll match you with a roommate that's compatible with you. And that is one of the reasons, but not the real reason. So let's say in your dorm, the faucet leaks. So you call maintenance and say, my faucet leaks, I'm in unit 123, and they send out a plumber to fix it. But here's the real deal. The maintenance department calls the director of WOW and says the faucet's leaking in unit 123, and what they do is they send out a director of WOW in order to make it a WOW experience. So imagine you come back and you look at the sink and the faucet's not dripping anymore. You say, well, that's nice. But then you look at your bed and there's a basket there. And maybe in the basket there's a Mars bar and a Diet Dr. Pepper. And you say, oh my gosh, Mars bar is my favorite chocolate bar, and Diet Dr. Pepper is my favorite soft drink. Oh my gosh, how did Nido know? And then you open it up and say, well, I'm sorry that your faucet leaked, and I hope that didn't sour your day, because we'd like to sweeten your day with some of your favorite goodies. Thank you very much for being at High Point University. And now instead of people whining, my faucet leaks, or instead of saying, that's nice, now it's fixed, what they do is they go to Facebook, they tell all their friends, I got Mars bar and a Diet Dr. Pepper from Nido. Wow, he really wowed me. It's so, I gotta tell you another one. So the director of WOW interviewed parents of kids at other colleges, and asked them, what are your complaints? And the biggest complaint was, we send our little Billy off on Labor Day, we don't see him till Christmas. And he complains, he's busy. And the parents always say, too busy to call? He said, I'm busy. So how did the director of WOW solve that problem at High Point University? What he did is he said, any student can bring on a thumb drive any photograph they've taken. Any photograph, as long as it has High Point University or the initials HPU in the picture somewhere. And then you bring it to the kiosk and you say how many copies you want. And let's say you want 11 copies. He will make a postcard of that picture and you come and pick it up, no charge. And then you write a letter to your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your favorite teacher from high school, the guidance counselor from high school, the soccer coach that was your soccer coach in high school, and your favorite aunt, whatever. You get all these postcards for free. And once you write them out, you take it back to the kiosk and Nido will put stamps on it, like real live stamps, wherever it is in the world, and mail it off for you. And now parents of kids at High Point University enjoy that they hear from their kids all the time. Now, I've given you 3 wows. There's 1,000 wows. And the only way that you can have your company skyrocket like Nido's Bank, skyrocket like Nido's Bakery Company, skyrocket like Nido's Furniture Store, skyrocket like Nido's University, in all different arenas, all different industries, is to create wow experiences. I am so moved by it that I gave a speech at Transformational Leadership Council on the power of wow. Jack Canfield is in the audience, and he said, oh my gosh, Raymond, that's genius. How did you learn all this stuff? And I said, from Nido Qubein. He said, I know Nido Qubein. I didn't know he knew power of wow. And Jack Canfield asked me if I would co-author a book with him on the power of wow. We both interviewed Nido for an hour and a half. When Nido hung up, my phone rang about 2 seconds later. It was Jack Canfield calling me, and he said one word, wow. Like an hour and a half of Nido is just unbelievable. And because I'm a friend of his and a client, I got special permission to bring a small number of people to High Point University. I'm getting ahead of myself. That's the purpose of video number 2. Now that you know how extremely wonderful Dr. Nido Qubein is, go to video number 2 and see how you can be in a small group at an unbelievably low price, even $0. $0 from Raymond? Wait till you see it. This is available only to Orbit members. Okay, video number 2, go.